No one quite knows where the North Korea question is going to land on just national security, because that affects, frankly, everything, particularly the stability underpinning the big growth zone in the Asia-Pacific region. So that's number one. That'll feature in the bilats between Xi Jinping and President Trump, but also dinner last night, Hamburg time, with Abe, the Japanese Prime Minister, and the new president of Korea, President Moon. So that's a big piece, as it were, on the side of this agenda. The big piece on the agenda is what do you do about trade and this, as it were, turning point about whether the administration's serious about whacking on tariffs for steel or not. And if they do, what exactly would be the retaliatory measures from the Europeans and others? And do we see the beginnings of a trade war? That's the core stuff.
And how much does the climate accord matter?
It does to 19 of those 20 states there. And that is the Paris Agreement.
Not as much the UK. The UK didn't put it in their 4 priorities.
Yeah, sure. But what I'm saying is if you look at the continuing position even of a
I can't even believe that, with North Korea on the radar, I can't even believe they're talking about the year 2100. Let me ask you.
But they will. That's my answer.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So we got that going for us, which is nice. Do they ever let their hair down? I mean, did anyone ever, after the meetings, have a few glasses of wine? You were one of the founding members, weren't you?
Yeah. We kicked this off with President Bush. He did.
I mean, why do you start massaging Angela Merkel? I mean, where'd that come? Was that late after a long day, or what happened? How often does that? You ever massage? Did he massage you?
President Bush?
Anybody?
This is a family program. I'm not going to talk about that.
But does things happen where maybe things could get done there if it wasn't in the setting?
Let me give you one insight as to what really worked, I think. We're coming up to the 10th anniversary of the global financial crisis, Lehman's Week, September. What happened in '09 at the G-20 in March of that year in London, Gordon Brown did a really smart thing. He got everyone around to dinner at number 10 Downing Street, and he actually cut the table to 20 folks, that's all there were at the table, and became a very focused conversation of, does everyone want to be in office in 6 months' time? If so, guys and girls, this is what we need to do. And it was a good piece of what I describe as dinner time diplomacy. I assume Chancellor Merkel's done something the night before here in Hamburg.
So they care about staying in office too, huh?
But that underscores...
Well, you care about ratings, they care about staying in office. It's the same sort of deal, my friend.
But we don't care about ratings. Together at a time where the G20 mattered for global financial stability.
Yeah.
It also mattered big time for this effort that everybody kind of agreed on, which was opening up global trade.
Yeah.
They're not so sure anymore. So it just strikes me that G20 is kind of peaked on its purpose right now, that there's no unifying theme here. In fact, the theme means to be more that they're kind of breaking up into smaller pieces.
I think I'm a huge defender of the institution for this reason. We didn't have one before, and when a crisis, when it hits, it tends to hit without notice. It's got its own inbuilt machinery for handling them. And second, for stuff to be important, it's not necessarily in the newspapers. There's a whole bunch of financial, shall I say, oversight, regulation, and control mechanisms there, which are looking at...
I'm going to cut you off.
What could happen next time?
You have the UK splitting from Europe, the US and Europe disagreeing about a variety of issues. We don't quite know where Russia fits into that puzzle. China is on a different agenda altogether, and it's unclear to me, rather than being part of a unifying under TPP, you know, Asia and the United States seem to be going different ways. I think the story here is more about differences than it is about commonality.
Well, can I come back on that just briefly, which is no one quite knows now which way the United States of America wants to go. And you are the #1 superpower. You've founded the rules of global free trade, and you preside over the world's alliance system. So the question in the back of all those folks' mind is, what will be the reality? One of your earlier guests was talking about the atmospherics on American protectionism. But to be fair to President Trump, apart from some bilateral stuff with the Canadians, I haven't seen much yet. So we are at this turning point. Will America still lead through the G20, or will it basically sit back and allow the groups to emerge?
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.